The Young and the Restless spoilers. Aristotle Dumas kidnaps Sharon and forces her to kill Nikki. The sun had barely risen over Genoa City when Sharon Newman found herself trapped in a nightmare far worse than anything she'd ever imagined. She had gone to the coffeehouse early that morning, hoping for a few moments of peace before the day began. Her thoughts were consumed with Nikki Newman, again. Lately, their paths had crossed too often, and tension buzzed beneath every word exchanged. But today, something was different. Sharon felt it in her bones. The bell above the door jingled, and in stepped Aristotle Dumas. Aristotle had recently arrived in Genoa City, cloaked in mystery and menace. His name echoed through hushed conversations, often followed by warnings. No one knew why he had come to town, but people had already begun to disappear. Sharon had brushed off the rumors, believing them to be nothing more than whispers blown out of proportion. She realized now that she'd made a grave mistake. Before she could say a word, Aristotle raised a small silver device and pressed it. A sharp hiss filled the room. Sharon collapsed instantly, her vision going black. She woke in a cold, dimly lit basement. Her wrists were bound, her mouth dry. The scent of damp cement clung to the air. Panic surged through her as she pulled at the ropes, only to realize it was useless. "Good, you're awake," came a voice. Sharon turned and saw him. Aristotle, calm, composed, terrifying in his stillness. He sat on a wooden chair like a man attending a meeting, not like someone who had just kidnapped her. "What do you want from me?" she rasped. He stood and walked over slowly, crouching beside her. "I want you to deliver justice," he said, voice low and deliberate. She blinked. "What are you talking about?" "Nikki Newman." Sharon's heart dropped. "She ruined my family," he continued, eyes now glowing with an eerie intensity. "Years ago, Nikki orchestrated something that destroyed my father's business. Drove him to bankruptcy. He lost everything. And then, he took his life." Sharon shook her head. "That has nothing to do with me." "Oh, but it does," he replied. "You're close to her. She trusts you, more than she should. I'm not going to help you hurt her." He gave a cold smile. "You misunderstand. I'm not asking. I'm telling you. Kill Nikki, or I will kill your daughter, Faith." Sharon's blood ran cold. "You wouldn't." Aristotle turned and pressed a button on his phone. A live video feed appeared. Faith, tied to a chair in what looked like another basement, eyes wide and terrified. "No," Sharon whispered. "I'm a man of my word," Aristotle said. "You have until midnight tonight. Nikki will be attending a charity gala at the Grand Phoenix. You'll be there. You'll do what needs to be done." He stood and walked out, leaving Sharon screaming in desperation. By some twist of luck, or perhaps Aristotle's twisted sense of fairness, Sharon was released hours later with strict instructions. A small handgun was placed in her purse, and she was warned, any attempt to warn Nikki or the police would result in Faith's execution. Dressed in a black gown, Sharon arrived at the gala. The Grand Phoenix was alive with music and laughter. No one could tell that she was carrying a gun. No one saw the war raging in her eyes. And there, across the room, was Nikki, elegant, poised, sipping champagne. Sharon's heart pounded. Her palms were slick with sweat. She moved toward Nikki slowly, feeling like a puppet being pulled by invisible strings. "Sharon," Nikki greeted, raising an eyebrow. "Didn't expect to see you here. I needed to talk to you privately," Sharon said, voice trembling. Something in Sharon's tone made Nikki pause. "All right," she said cautiously, following her into a side hallway. Once alone, Sharon locked the door and turned to her. "What's going on?" Nikki asked. Sharon pulled the gun from her purse and pointed it at Nikki. Nikki froze, eyes widening. "Sharon, what the hell are you doing?" Sharon's hands shook. "He has Faith." "Who?" "Aristotle Dumas. He's making me do this. If I don't kill you, he'll kill my daughter." Nikki's face paled. "Then we'll go to the police." "No," Sharon snapped. "He said he's watching. If I don't do this, she dies." There was a long silence between them. Then Nikki did something unexpected. She took a slow step forward. "Shoot me then," she said. "I'm not going to let Faith die." Sharon's eyes filled with tears. "I can't. Sharon, listen to me. There has to be a way. Maybe we can outsmart him." Suddenly, a voice echoed through the hallway. Aristotle's voice, coming from a small speaker installed above them. "You've failed," he said. "And now, Faith pays the price." "No," Sharon cried. But Nikki was already on her phone, activating a silent alert, something Victor had installed for emergencies. Meanwhile, in the second basement, a SWAT team stormed in, following the GPS beacon planted in Sharon's necklace, which she hadn't realized Victor had given her weeks earlier. Faith was found unharmed, shaken but alive. Aristotle, however, was nowhere to be seen. Back at the Grand Phoenix, Sharon dropped the gun. Police swarmed in moments later. "Where is he?" she screamed. "He's gone," Nikki said softly, holding her tight. "But we'll find him." Days later, Victor Newman stood before a fireplace, reading a report. "Aristotle Dumas," he muttered. "He's not done. And neither are we." In the shadows outside the ranch, Aristotle watched from a distance, eyes fixed on the family that had once destroyed his life.